Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I am so excited to be going live right now with our Elevation Outreach account and just getting the opportunity to talk to all of you about our response to the tragedy that has been happening in Ukraine. It is such an honor to be going on with Elevation Outreach. We're going to link up with them in just a second, but I see lots of people jumping on, so I'll give everybody a minute to jump on. Hi, Larissa. Hi, Charnel. Good to see you. Let me know in the chat where you are tuning in from today. I know that we are spanning across Canada. We have our local campus right here in Mississauga, where I am right now, but we also have our campus out on the east end of the city in Whitby. And we'll be going there this Sunday at 5 p.m. So if you know anybody out east, you can come and join us for our worship experience. And just today, I found out that we have lots of people tuning in all across Canada. There are some people from Northwest Territories that have been watching. They've jumped into our Financial Peace University e-group, which is super exciting. We have people from Newfoundland, and we have a whole group of people from Calgary that have been tuning in. So I am just so excited to know that so many Canadians are being touched by Elevation Church and the messages that are going out. And I know that Elevation Outreach has been doing so much to respond to what has been happening in Ukraine. So I'm going to go live with our Elevation Outreach account right now. Josh Wood, hello.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking us to hop on.
Thank you so much for doing this with me today. I always love hearing from you. We were just together in North Carolina, in Charlotte, my first time across the border in a while. And it's always so nice to be down there and to just talk with other directors, to get to share ideas, to learn what's going on, and to learn from you, Josh. Honestly, you are so wise. You speak with such authority, and it is always such a privilege to learn from you. And every time I talk to you, I just want to become a better learner, and you teach me so much. So I'm just super excited that you're here with me today and willing to talk about the international response to everything that's been going on in Ukraine.
Well, thanks. Thank you for saying that too. We loved having you. I know it's been a while, but so great to have you travel down, and it was really good. It was to be able to, we got all of our directors together across all of our different campuses, our Toronto campus included, and it was great. I thought that was a really fruitful time, and it was so great to hear about the fruit that's coming out of your ministry there, the campus, and all the outreach that you've been able to do and getting back out serving again. It's been awesome.
And you're going to come here, Josh, and get to
Yes.
experience it with us. We're waiting for that day. We'll take you around to all of our partners so that you can get an inside look and get to serve in the city, because Toronto is a very special city. I know I'm biased, but I know there's lots of people on the chat right now too that would say that there is something special about Toronto and everything that is happening here.
Absolutely. And then
So
you were telling me about one of the partners. This is the one that I've been waiting, I feel like 2 years to come visit. Is it Scott? I'm going to mess this name up. Scott's Mission?
no, that was close. So the Scott Mission.
The Scott Mission. That was the one that I feel
Mission.
like I've heard so much about. I'm dying to come visit.
That one, yes, that one is definitely my favorite. They are right downtown, right, like pretty close to the CN Tower, and they do a lot with people who are experiencing homelessness, and they help men, women, families, and that was the one that we got to go and do a worship night for all their youth. So that's even more special to my heart because so many of them gave their life to Christ that night, and I know that a lot of them come from really challenging circumstances, and have just experienced a lot of hardship in their life. So that was a memorable moment. And yes, one day you will come here and get to experience it.
I can't wait. That's so great.
All right. Well, I see lots of people on here. Hello, Whit Paulson. Hi, you will. Hi, Brando. Good to have you. Josh, I'd love for you to just share a little bit. We are one church, and outreach is just who we are. It's been a part of our culture ever since the beginning. we talk about all the time how 12% of everything that comes into this church goes
Yep.
right back into outreach. And I would just love for you to share and just take a minute to talk about the partners that we are really supporting, and they are on the ground right now, kind of helping everything that's been happening in Ukraine.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime something like this happens, um, when that conflict kicked off, it's always so great to have a number of partners that we collectively support, as a church through all sorts of connections that we have through our different campuses. And so it was so great that when that first happened, we were able to hop on the phone with a couple of specific ones just to share, hey, what is the situation actually on the ground? So there was in those early, days and weeks, the primary concern first was just evacuations, right? And so one of our partners, Hope International, who is a really unique organization that we've supported for a long time, were founded in Ukraine. So they've been there for 25 years. And they're a
Wow.
really interesting organization because as you may know about Ukraine, they have a lot of farming that goes on in Ukraine. They're the breadbasket of Europe. I think that's the term. And so this specific organization has helped farmers for years, decades, to be able to get off the ground and begin to supply crops and food for their communities, and pivotal to so many local economies all across Ukraine. Well, they were in desperate need of getting some of their people out of harm's way. And so our church was, fortunate, as it always blows me away. I was a former outreach partner, and so I know the difference that a gift can make to change lives. And so to be able to give $25,000 right away was a huge deal, and that actually helped fund just some of the immediate needs that they were experiencing as a staff as they were trying to get people out of that situation where their lives were in danger. So that was kind of that first. I'm talking you through like the timeline. That was like the first phase. Was there were organizations that were in country that we were partnered with, who I was at a conference with them last year, just hearing the fruit that they were seeing and experiencing as people who they had invested in on the ground in Ukraine. And this
Wow.
is way before any of this happened.
Yeah.
They were talking about the relationships they built and the people that had come to Christ. And so when they called us and said, hey, we're in evacuation mode, is that something that you guys would be interested in? It's so great that we have a church that gives consistently before the crisis, so that when this happens, we're not having to put out something. We're not having to say, hey, please start supporting outreach so we can give to help our partners. We're pre-positioned to do something like this, to be generous and to make a difference. And we were able to give right away. And that was special.
I think that makes so much of a difference too, right? Like that we are always prepared. It's what Elevation is known for, that we don't have to kind of do this in a rush, right? Where we have everything we need. We're perfectly positioned to respond right away.
Yep. And
That's great.
that was interesting. Then, when it transitioned, we had now partners from our shores now mobilizing, partners you all know well and have partnered with before, Convoy of Hope, Samaritan's Purse. They said, well, now we're going to go there. And so actually one of the main liftoff points for Samaritan's Purse is right outside of Charlotte, where I'm living right now. It's in Greensboro, and we were able to see a gift that we gave them get loaded immediately onto an airplane in Greensboro. They invited us
Wow.
up to come watch, the loading and everything, and it went straight there to get on the border in Poland. Because when everybody now got out of those situations where they may experience the violence, they got to countries like Poland, because a lot of these European countries said, hey, we'll take you. We're open arms. We want to welcome any refugee that needs shelter. And so some of these places experienced several million, I think the number was over 2 million refugees exiting Ukraine.
Wow.
And so they had real needs. So things like, you may not think about, but things like, women who, because a lot of the men had to stay in the country, women who had to leave. Well, it's natural, right? Any mother will be most concerned primarily with their children, right? And so a lot of the needs were things that they hadn't packed for themselves. Talk like
Right.
feminine hygiene products, change of clothes. I mean, just the basic necessities that a mom would. She's just been so focused on getting her kids out and safe that she's not packed anything for herself. And so that was part of what Samaritan's Purse and Convoy took over right off the get-go.
Right. I love that. And we actually, as a campus too, we were able to pack one of our e-groups. They came together and they packed some dignity kits about a week ago. And they're going to be going to one of our partners called Wood Green.
Hmm.
And Wood Green is a social service agency, again, right downtown Toronto. And what the Canadian government has done is they've actually said for the next 3 years, any refugees coming from Ukraine, they're going to get temporary residency,
Wow.
which is amazing.
Yeah.
And right from the airport, they're going to be getting connected with Wood Green right away.
Hmm.
So Wood
So
Green,
great.
it's amazing. Right away, Wood Green is going to be able to point them to like the way that they can get government assistance for us, where they can get some of these different grants, how they can get connected to our Ontario Works program, the childcare benefit that they get. So to make sure that all these people coming in, like they're taking advantage of what our government is offering and not having to suffer or not knowing where to go. Wood Green will then also like make sure that they have access to healthcare, which is super important. And then they're going to be setting them up with like housing that they can go to
Yeah.
right away. And what we get to do at Elevation is they've come to us and we've been able to have a conversation with them and say, hey, like we know you're starting this new program. You're going to be receiving like so many newcomers coming to Canada. Like this is going to be huge. How can we support you? And
Hmm.
right away they said, we need these baby kits. We need these dignity kits. We need these food hampers because there is a lot of food insecurity right downtown as well. And then we need to give them the supplies when they do get into their house, right? They're going to need new bedding. They're going to need fresh sheets and pillows and all these things. And like you said, they aren't thinking about their needs when they were coming over. They were focused on their kids. They were just focused on their safety. Um, and now we get to fill in those gaps for them. So I love that.
What I love too is that we are an incredibly generous church, but it's not just limited to finances. So you see, we even see I don't want to like spoil anything, but Love Week is on the horizon, and where
Yes.
our church highlights not only financial giving, but thousands and thousands of people will serve. When you talk about coming to a new place, and we experienced this, in over the last few months in Charlotte with Afghan refugees coming to this country as well. It is great to provide housing and the necessities around pots and pans and sheets for the bed. So great. But also, what we do, one of the things we do best, I think better than any church in the world, we'll mobilize people too to go,
Yes.
and I'm going to carry the pots and pans to your door. I'm going to take you to the school. I'm going to help you meet your teachers. I'm going to help you navigate translation, because it's those human connections that really demonstrate our faith. It tells people about the God we serve. I think that's such a brilliant part.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And we're going to have the opportunity to go and serve with Wood Green during Love Week and likely before as well, coming up in the
Mm-hmm.
spring as they start this program. And it does make a difference because people come and we all want to be seen, Josh. We all want to be known. We don't want to be walking this life alone. And you're right, Elevation and our volunteers and our outreach team is so good at just making those connections with people and really wanting to walk them through this journey.
Yeah, well, one special story. So coming out of that, so we were in communication with our Samaritan's Purse partner, and so they were sharing with us about some of the work that they've done. So they're on the Polish border, right? One thing that they're equipped to do, and actually our own Brittany Akinsola, who's our e-groups pastor, she actually goes and serves with them in a capacity as a nurse before, but they're able to set up emergency field hospitals for people that are fleeing who need, to the normal medical care or potentially an injury or something like that. Well, something that one of our partners shared from Samaritan's Purse is that they were actually able to help deliver a child of a mom
Wow.
that's leaving. Think about that. How many of us in our context we plan yeah, I've heard it, I guess, what's your birth plan? Where are you going to go? What hospital are you going to go? You go tour, you go do all these things. Now imagine being in that stage with no plan. You're just trying to flee for your life. And to have a partner that you've helped, right? You've given to help them set up so that person, that that woman, that mother has a safe place to give birth, and to have that be a good experience rather than something filled with fear, alone by herself. I just thought that was so special, and it makes it so personal. That I'm so glad that we get to be a part of something like that.
Me too, because that that whole thing is never easy, and the fact that we were able to help in that way, like that is very meaningful and something that this woman is always going to remember, right? She's always going to remember that kindness, that care, and the fact that that happened. So that's really special, and I'm in awe all the time, Josh, when I hear about these stories and when I just see all the work that our partners are doing and like how we are a part of that. Like it doesn't matter that we're in Canada, like we are one church, and we're all a part of this, and Elevation Church is the best church in the world. There's so much good that we have been able to do and help, and I'm just eternally grateful.
Well, that was something that we as a team were so grateful to have through the pandemic, was Zoom, at least, because
Yes.
in our team meetings, to brag on you guys, to consistently be able to hear the testimony of the ways that you were still out serving, still out trying to meet needs, still connecting, even virtually sometimes, with people in need, getting creative with volunteer opportunities. That was such an encouragement to us. And you guys do such an incredible job. You have such great partners, and you all are so generous. It's a wonderful piece. You are a wonderful piece of the team. Again, just pursuing justice in your community, trying to continue to meet those needs and care for people. It's an inspiration to us. We are so grateful that we get to hear these testimonies week in and week out.
Well, we feel the exact same way about you, honestly. All the stories, all the things that you guys have done, and just the consistency through it all as well. Like, and the level, like the magnitude that you guys do stuff and play a role in these partners. Like you said it, Josh, when we were together, like we think about like would our partners miss us? Are we making
Yeah.
a big enough? And that has really stuck with me and has made me want to make sure that we are finding out what the needs are around our city and answering them the best that we can. So for everybody on here right now who is local to Toronto, we have an opportunity to really get on the ground of this program with Wood Green. Coming up at the end of April, we are going to be having an on-campus event right here in Mississauga where we're going to pack over 600 kits for all these newcomers coming to Canada. So we're going to be packing the food hampers, we're going to be packing housing kits, we're going to be packing some baby kits and supplies for new moms, and it's all going to be happening right here Saturday morning. And I just think it's our way to really practically give back to Wood Green. And then the fact that we'll be able to go and serve there, and we'll likely get to meet these people that are going to be using their services, that are going to be accessing their meal program and coming to pick up the donations and coming to just do any of the community programs that they have. So if you are local, I'd love to invite you to that event. All you need to do is go to events.elevationoutreach.com. If you filter for Toronto, you'll see that event pop up right now. You can sign up today. And if this is your first time tuning in with us, we'd love to have you. You can bring a friend. You can invite anybody that you'd like, because we want to make a lot of kits, and it's going to take a lot of people to do this. So I'd love if you could sign up. And I know that there's opportunities all the time, even online, for people to get involved with, Josh. If anybody is not local to Toronto, but somewhere else
Right.
in Canada. Any other kind of final words, Josh, for us before we head out?
No, I mean, I don't know how you wanted to end it, but I'd love to pray for you, just to pray for your continued leadership and your ministry, and just continue that you would continue to reach the people in your community.
I would be honored.
Is that okay?
I would love that. Thank you.
Perfect. I'll do it. God, thank you so much for the ministry that is cross borders, God, that is global, that you've called us into as a church. We're so grateful, and help us never to take that for granted. We have a global responsibility, God. And as we do receive people, God, I pray that you would help us to show them through our actions, not just our words, a little more about your character, the God that you are. So help us to serve them and to put a foot forward with love and care and grace, God, through hospitality and service. We are, again, God, are fortunate and grateful and blessed to be a part of a church that is known for its generosity. Help us to continue to carry that mantle forward in all of the places that you've called us, God. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Well, if any of you have any questions, you can message the Elevation Outreach account. You can message the Elevation GTA account. But seriously, Josh, you are an inspiration to me. You are a fabulous leader, and I am just so grateful to be on your team and to serve under your leadership. So thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all that you do for the church. It is making a big difference.
Absolutely. Let's do this again.
For sure. All right.
See you,
Thanks,
Kristen.
everybody.